not going to start the whole thing. So this is your Wednesday demonstration since Harwood can't be here. We are going to create items for the craft show. Half the proceeds from the items of the craft show come back into our clay department so that we can purchase clay and we can purchase glaze. The other half of the proceeds go to benefit some sort of local charity. And the local charity I believe we are supporting this year is going to be Go Pantry, and I believe it takes $370 to feed a kid for the year, so we're going to see how much money we can raise to see if we can at least feed a kid for the year. Different ideas for you. Last year, if you were in Mr. Stropko's or my classes in Art 1, we created ornaments, and we glazed them and we sold them at the craft show. They were $3 each. For my upper level classes, I would like to encourage you to try to produce something different. So some different suggestions. If you enjoyed making your little creations, you can make a second little creation. The little pinch pots that go together, you can do something else like that. I'm totally fine with that. Just be prepared to sell one of them. Other ideas that I have for you are to create either rectangle or triangular dishes. And with these, we use a mold. I only have 2 of these, so you'll have to take turns. But I will demonstrate that in a couple of minutes. It'll take you a couple of minutes to make it, and then you can pass it on to somebody else. Other ideas are for you to go ahead and create little jewelry pieces. So if you guys looked at my jewelry yesterday, they were clay necklace and clay earrings. These are totally, actually I thought they were kind of goofy at first, but I ended up giving them away as Christmas presents last year and people really kind of dug them. So once you put some glaze on them, they look kind of pretty. We probably will use black string for them. Black bead string, I don't know what this stuff's, but necklace, it's necklace string, whatever. If you want to get fancier with it and you want to buy chain and you want to create your own to take home, you totally can do that. Let's see, if you want to get really creative and do something insane and you enjoy doing pottery, you can build these things, and then what you do is you slide. This is actually my napkin holder from my house. So you could build giant pinch pots and cut slits in the side of them, but I'm not really demonstrating those. Okay, so let's go to the bowls. This is one of your guys' options. So what you're first going to need to do is you're going to need to get a piece of clay. You're going to need to get a pretty big piece of clay because this is a pretty big piece. If you are not going to use these, you just need small bits of clay, and I'll show you that in a minute. So you're going to wedge your clay. All the directions are up on the board under the word clay procedures. After you wedge your clay, this was wedged clay by the way, you are going to make it a slab. So in this case, I really did use the palm of my hand. I did not use my fingers. If I use my fingers, it makes a whole bunch of ridges in the clay. If I use the palm of my hand, it usually keeps it nice and smooth. And then I really don't like these things, but I do like to roll it over just once to make it a nice smooth surface. I'm not sitting out here doing this forever. If you desperately want to do that, you can, but I only have about 6 of these. These are located in that back closet, straight behind the word kiln room on that set of shelves. So I take this, and there's a small side and there's a big side. So if I take the big side and line it up on my clay, like so, and I take my cutting tool and I go straight through the clay and I trace it out. I want to make sure that I hold my cutting tool straight up and down. If I hold it at an angle, it's going to bevel the clay and it makes for like a weird finish. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to these pieces for a couple minutes and I'll show you why. So now I have a slab. It is a beautiful rectangle slab. I'm going to take the skinny side and I'm just going to drape this over. And if I did not say it, I don't know what I've said and what I haven't said. This is called a hump mold, so I'm just humping it right over. And yes, ceramics has crazy words. Art making in general has crazy words sometimes. So I'm pressing that down. I'm not pushing the clay too far. It's only going to go kind of over the edge. I can take my finger and I can smooth this out if I want to smooth this out, Earlier, I took the edge of a Sharpie marker and just pressed it down to give that rippled edge. The edges are really, really wonky when people do them. So sometimes if you're having trouble with it, you can use something to smooth it or something to cut it. You can use something to smooth it. I hate taking the time, and so I just usually do something soft and funky like that. So if I take that apart, there's my dish. Now, I can set my dish flat on the table like that, and it doesn't look bad. Or you can create some sort of little foot to go in the bottom of that. And those of you on the camera, I'm demonstrating this for my other class, so that's why I keep turning it around. This, I just took like actual little pieces of clay that came off of it, curled them up into little spirals and stuck them on the bottom of it. You can cut out shapes. I think on that one I cut out little bars and put on the bottom of it, and that's just, it's something that lifts it up off the table and kind of makes it look a little bit elegant, but these don't look too bad either. In the middle of this, if you wanted to take one of these, I have a whole bunch of these fit directly right down into that, and I can press that right in there, and that would just give me a design. I also have stamps that after we cook them, you can use clear glaze, actually you can use black glaze, and you can do a silk screen stamp, and I have like all kinds of fruits and vegetables. If you want. If you don't want, it's not really a big deal. I had something earlier. I can't find it. Okay, so if I peel that up, that just gives the impression of leaves down in the bottom, and it just looks classy. Now, we have jewelry pieces. Jewelry pieces are pretty simple. These little pieces of clay, and actually all of my leftover clay from earlier, basically, I'm just smacking it down. I have a whole ton of different stamps back there. I have these stamps back there. I have all kinds of stuff. So what you do is you just press that into the clay, and you can cut them out into different shapes. This was left over last year. We had all the stamps, or all the different cookie cutters, and this was a leftover chunk of cookie cutter cut out, and I thought it was just kind of funky and just kind of cool. This one, I actually had a cookie cutter of a butterfly and just cut that out. This one right here, the stamp included a flower, and so I just cut around the flower and just kind of left it a teardrop shape. So here I have all kinds of leaves, and I'm just going to cut straight into the clay. And so now I have just a nifty shape, and I want to smooth the edges because when the clay cooks, these edges get really, really rough and they will rip up your clothing. So you need to make sure that's nice and smooth on the back, and then you also want to make sure the front is nice and smooth. And you need to put a hole in it so that it can hang from something. If you have any other ideas for different kinds of jewelry, go ahead and play around. If you want to, I have letters back there, if you want to stamp in the word love or peace or anything like that, and you want to do like little bracelets, we can totally figure that out. These were extra, just little chunks of clay, like these strips right here, that I just rolled up into spirals, and I had a big piece that I just rolled up into a spiral, so a necklace and earrings. They don't look like much until you get the glaze on them, but then you get the glaze on them and they look pretty cool. So jewelry, dishes, if you want to make more little pinch pot guys, but you're on the hook for at least one piece for the craft show. If you have time, make a couple pieces for the craft show. I believe that they'll be sold somewhere in the neighborhood of $5 each, and that's it.